Hey guys, some of this stuff that I just it's making me bust up laughing. But I'm gonna start off with they got Joe Biden on TV. Brandon. They got him on TV saying that, and because they're trying to save their asses in this midterm election coming up here, uh, he's going to pardon everybody that's in federal prison for simple possession of marijuana. They're going to all be pardoned. He's he's claiming there's too many people. I think this is going to affect like 6,500 people that will be pardoned and released from jail or from federal prison. They had felony possession charges on them. All he has to say is, we're just going to legalize it. That's what he should have said. We're going to legalize it, and anybody in prison for marijuana, only simple marijuana possession or whatever, that they are all released. That would have helped them more than helping 6,500 people out, because there's maybe not there might only be 6,500 people in federal prison for simple possession of marijuana, but there's a lot of state prisons that are packed with people that had simple possession of marijuana on them. I personally know a guy, he got nailed in Indiana, had a joint, one joint, and he was facing a year in prison. And they started asking him if he was willing to rat out on some people. Well, he told them, yeah, so they didn't even put him in jail or nothing. Time kept going by, and they waiting for him to come in, tell on some people, and get some other people busted. Well, they never did. He never did it, and he never got any more trouble for it. But he kind of made a deal with them, and then he catfished them, you know, over a joint, folks, just one joint. That was it. Um, they are now saying they're trying to get a bill passed, or it has already been passed, folks, that anyone can vote in an election. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to be a citizen to vote in this country. That's what they've either already got it passed or they're trying to get it passed. And if they can get it passed before the Democrats lose the House and the Senate and the presidency in another couple of years, it'll be a done deal. Hell, they might as well say anybody can be president from anywhere. If anybody can vote in it, why can't anybody be president? Then they can get a Osama bin Laden's brother in here and he can be president, because I'm sure you guys would vote for anybody. I did a video and just the other day, and I was talking about how you can start by trying to take your communities back by dealing with the people that are policing you, by doing records requests and stuff on them. Find out who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and force them to get rid of the bad guys. Put cameras in their cars and on their chests. That takes care of a lot of it, because those cameras and the footage on them become public record. Well, let me tell you something else I found out in my doing all the research I've been doing on black law in this country. Ask anybody. I know you guys got family members that are lawyers. You got friends that might be lawyers. You know people, because of situations you've been in, has caused you to hire lawyers. I want you to ask any one of them to show you their state license to do their job, their lawyering, them being a lawyer. Every state I've ever lived in, folks, you had to have, if you're going to have any kind of a business and you're going to be in a legit business, you got to get the state license. I don't care what it is. If you're working for yourself, you got to get a license through the state. Out in Arizona, that license costs you about $2,500 a year. Now in Indiana, it costs you about $10 for a state license. It doesn't matter what business you are doing. You have to, if you got a business where people come into a building, you have to put that license on the side, on the wall, so everybody can see it. Or this is the way it was in Arizona. If you had a van that, like we had work vans, you had to have the license taped on the door somewhere that if somebody asked you to see it, that you could walk them over there and show it to them. And my dad had his taped on the part in the inside of his van, or his vans. Ask these lawyers, any of them, because the prosecutor that prosecuted me in my case that about a year and a half ago, I asked him for his. He's going, what are you talking about? I said, tell me, or show me your state license to run your business as a lawyer. You're even though he was working for the state, in order for him to be a lawyer, he should have to have some kind of a license. Doctors have medical licenses. Well, lawyers should have licenses as well. He reaches in his wallet. I called this guy the Demon 40 Chan. He reaches in his wallet and he pulls out his Bar Association membership card. And I looked at it and I handed it back to him. I said, that ain't a license that you get from the state of Ohio. Where's your license? That's a membership card that you're a part of the Bar Association. That isn't even an American association in the first place. It's a British. They can't show you one, folks. And I got another question. Why is it doctors and lawyers are always practicing? They have doctor practices, and a lawyer's office they're practicing. When are they ever really fighting real law? They're a practice. They don't have no license, folks. Let's see. One last thing. Up here in Lake Erie, they hold a thing called the Fall Brawl at Lake Erie. It's called the Fall Brawl Lake Erie Walleye Trail. And it's one of the last derby or championships where you can make money if you're a good fisherman and you compete all the time. It's one of those kind of fishing derbies. They do contests, but they do a lot of they gather a lot of donations for different charities and stuff doing these events. Well, this last one. Now, from the way I understand it, the two guys that won, they come out with 30, I think it was 32 or 33 pounds of just straight up walleye. Now, the weather that day, this was just a few days ago, folks, a couple days ago, or yesterday, but the weather was sucked on the water. Those big lakes, folks, it's like being on the ocean. I mean, you can't see the other side, and they get big waves when the wind gets to blowing. It ain't like just, you guys been on lakes where the lake water even gets rough. Well, these big lakes like Lake Erie Heron and all these up here, these lakes got their ocean. They get ocean-sized waves, and we've had a lot of rain moving in and out, probably because of that hurricane that blew through here in the last week. It's been off and on. I mean, I even got caught. I was cutting my grass, man. It was sun shining, and I started cutting my front yard. I didn't get a third of it done, and a black cloud, because there's so many huge trees around my house, I can't see very far. But this huge black cloud moved in while I'm cutting my grass, and it started pouring. I couldn't even finish cutting my grass. I mean, this is how fast the storm would come in. Or at least I can't see them from my porch or anything. But this fishing derby up here, or contest up here, the Fall Brawl, these guys that won it, I think they beat the guys out by, most of the guys were around 22 to, I think it's 26 pounds or something like that. Well, these guys brought in, I think it was 5 walleye. And there's all these fishermen that been fishing for decades watching this shit. And these guys are throwing 4-pound walleyes up on the scale. And the scale's kicking out 7 pounds something. These guys that are all watching this, and even the guys that are running the contest, they're even seeing there's something messed up here. But these guys have been winning these contests for quite a while, these 2 guys. And they won this last one, too. This was the last one for the season up here. And it's winter sets in. These guys have been winning these contests, and as they've been winning them here, I think, the way they're talking, they've won the last, I think, 4 of this whole series of contests that ends at this Fall Brawl. They won it. They're the top of they were up on the numbers. They were ahead of everybody on everything. They were in first place coming into this tournament, this contest. And they won it. And when their fish weighed out 5 of them, everybody was saying they were 4-pound fish at best. And when the scale weighed it up, it said 32 or 33 pounds. 32 and almost 33 pounds, I think it was. Or 33 and a little over. 32 to 33. People in the audience yelling bullshit and all this stuff going on, folks. And they're recording it and everything. Finally, even the guy that he's the one that I guess started all this. He's getting mad. He knows there's something up. Finally, he's like, "Hey, you guys don't go nowhere with them fish. We want to get some pictures of you guys with the fish and shit." And before you go, and he walks over and he says something to him. "I want to check these fish out." And these guys started going, or one guy done walked away. He got out of there. The other guy's going, "I'm getting sick of this shit," and I go on, and there's going back and forth a little bit. Well, he jerks out that damn fish, just one of them, and he goes, somebody, and he's feeling it, and he said I've seen the video. He said he could feel the weights inside this fish through, and he goes, he's not even sure they caught those fish that day. He thinks these fish had been dead for a while, because he said a fish that's been alive up until the point you're getting them out and weighing them and stuff, and they might die, would still have more stiffness to its bodies, the muscles and everything. A fish that's been dead for a while, the muscles and everything's so relaxed. He says everything's soft. And he said when he squeezed the fish, he could feel the weights inside it. He told somebody, "Give me a knife. Somebody give me a knife." He cuts that damn fish open. Just one. And a doggone sinker this is for lake, or maybe even in the river, folks. This ain't for big lake fishing. But this here is, I don't know, maybe 1 ounce, maybe a little more than that, 1.5, maybe, I don't know. It looks about the size of a pumpkin ball that goes in a slug on a 12 gauge shotgun, but they're hollowed out. But that's probably about 1 ounce right there. These weights that fell out of this fish's stomach they were huge. Now, they had to be about, I figure, 1.5 pounds or so, because there was a couple of them in each fish, and each fish was about 3.5 pounds over weight. So by the time they were done, they had about 12 of these big sinkers. After they cut all the fish open, they found them. Now, these guys are claiming they don't know how they got in there. They don't know how all them sinkers got in those fish. The funny thing about it, folks, is these guys, every time they've won, they have to, by rules, they have to take a lie detector test. The guy that caught them this time has made them take, he said he's made them take in the last, or this season, he's made them take, I think it was 3 different lie detector tests with 3 different people, and also made them take a vocal stress test with somebody. Because these guys keep winning. They keep winning. First place on all these contests. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but at this point, the people that control the money for the contest, they have a rule. If somebody wins, they take a lie detector test. If they pass a lie detector test, they pay them. It doesn't say anything about if there's any weights found inside the fish or anything, because folks, fishermen been lying and cheating ever since they started fishing. You ask a man, most of them, the ones that got away were always the biggest ones. Now, I had a lot get away, but I don't know how big they were, because I've had some fish give me a fight, and I'm thinking, man, this is going to be a 5-pound fish, and I pull it in, it's a 2-pound or 1.5-pound freaking catfish, or a carp or something give you a fight, a little bit of a fight, and it feels like it's a 5-pound bass or something, you know. But that's why I used to take pictures and have it. I'd take the fish home just to show it to somebody else. If I caught it and there wasn't nobody there to see it, and for me to show it to prove it, then I'd take it home and show it to my family, if not else. Take some pictures of it. I didn't always have freaking cell phones, folks. Sometimes I did. But these guys have always been cheating. This is like our election, folks. There's always been some cheating going on somewhere. Well, they don't even have to do that anymore. Hell, anybody can vote. You don't even have to be a citizen. You don't have to be even registered in any way. You can just walk in and say, I'm Clyde Barron, and I'm here to vote. And okay, Clyde, come this way. We're going to give you a ballot here. You fill it out. Do I need an address? No, you don't even need an address. No, you don't have to be a citizen or resident. No, you can just be passing through and voting our elections. Shit. That's the same way with this fishing shit now, folks. It's gotten so bad. They can cut 5 fish open and find about, what was it, almost 10 pounds of weight in them. And they still got to pay the guys for winning because they passed a lie detector test. The one guy said those guys were lucky to get out of there without a beating. But they did let them walk out. And then the cops made sure they was all right until they got out of there. But there's about, I think, 3 felony fraud charges and stuff that can be brought up through the state. So the guys that were running all this, after the cops got involved, they just said, okay, we're just going to turn everything over to you, officer. There has been some kind of a crime here. You guys need to deal with this. And so now the state, I think it's Ohio, it might be, has taken this over, and they're going to bring up charges against these guys. So we'll see what happens from here. This just happened in the last couple of days. I think it was the 31st. It happened on, or the 30th. Or no. No, it happened on the 1st, I believe, of this month. Anyway, that's my video, folks. You guys have a good one out there. God loves you. So do I. Seek Jesus' path. All this stuff that I've just been telling you about, this is a joke. If you're following this, this let anybody vote, lawyers don't have licenses, and they're going to pardon all these, Biden's going to pardon a bunch of people trying to get, just for the election. That's the only reason why he's doing this, folks. If he's even doing, he don't know what he's doing anyway. But if you vote, you're a part of all this. You're a part of, not the fishing part, folks, but you're a part of all this. You're agreeing to it. You're giving them consent to allow this to happen. I know you think voting's going to change anything. What is it going to change? Nothing's going to change what's going to happen this winter. Nothing. Not this, even this vote coming up here that's going to change, turn everything back over to the Republicans or however you guys are going to do it. That isn't going to change nothing for this winter and next summer. You still got 2 more years of what they're dishing out. Do you not understand that? You got 2 more years. What more can they do in 2 more years? That should be your question. It looks like to me you're going to wind up with Kamala Harris being your president. And right at this point, I think that's the only reason nobody's pushing the fact that Biden don't know where he's at or who he is. It's like they give him a shot right before he goes on. Sometimes it helps, and he can say a few things and talk a little bit, and then other times he can't even make a sentence. All the other countries already know this, but do we want to see laughing hyena Kamala Harris in there? That's all I've ever seen a woman do. Anytime you've asked her a question, anytime I've seen her answering anything, anywhere, she says something, thinks it's funny, and she laughs. I just call her the laughing hyena. That's all you're going to ever get out of these people. They don't care what you want. They give you the illusion through these election process that you matter when you don't. Like I said, guys, seek Jesus. If you're expecting to come out good by following man, it ain't going to happen. Seek Jesus and find that path so that we can all meet in heaven. Why not? I'm not going to meet you in hell. I'm not going to do that. That's out of the question. So, if that's where you guys want to go party, go for it. I'm going to heaven. Till the next one.